What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Dustin. Now, for the last 15-20 years, I've been a climbing tree stand guy, and ultimately get a little lazy, and the two properties that I frequent, I always hang ladder stands. Now, the reason for that, aside from being lazy, is my wife does a lot of hunting too, and she's not real coordinated when it comes to using a climber. So I always made sure that she was set up with a proper ladder stand. But since I had a lifestyle change recently, with being a home fabricator, I decided to go ahead and increase my mobility a little bit. Now, as you can see, I've got an XOP tree stand, some helium sticks with the new XOP backpack system. I didn't really enjoy a saddle. I tried one just one time and wasn't for sure that it would be right for me. The reason for that, first off, I'm 43 years old, 5'11", 255 pounds, and I don't have the greatest circulation in my legs. So a saddle, kinda, yeah, maybe. I am very interested in the newer saddles that are 2 panels, okay? And I believe that those would probably be better for me. But this year, I'm gonna try this XOP system with the helium sticks, and I've done a little bit of work to them. We've doctored them up a little bit, and I think that's going to work out really well for me. On today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and grab this tree right here in the backyard, see how long it takes me to get up there and get set up and get ready, aside from pulling up a backpack and a bow rope. But let's just go ahead. We'll put this in fast forward, and I'll see how long it takes me. Then we'll talk about my setup. Okay, well, that was pretty rough. Talk about feeling like a fat kid trying out for junior high sports. Yeah, that brings back a lot of memories. Knowing that the camera was running, but being safe, that climb took me 9.5 minutes. Now, keep in mind that I've only been up 3 trees, and I've changed my setup every time I've done it so far. So I'm working on getting familiar with my setup. Here's what I've got and here's what I've done, because none of this is original. I've been watching YouTube and been listening to all the guys, the saddle hunter and all the people who, you know, have made me make my choices. So I'm going to tell you what we've done. So the original Hawk Helium Mini is 20 inches. The problem with that is the bottom step comes shipped right here. All right. Basically, it's so you can stack it together and be efficient that way. However, I want as much as I can with each step. If I can get all I need out of 3 steps, then I'm only going to carry 3 steps. So what I did, I moved the bottom step from here down to here. Now it's only 1.5 inches, but last time I checked, 18 inches is a lot better than 16.5. So in doing that, that created a stacking issue. You can see I've only got 1 suction cup on the on the stick anymore. I use the Versa button on top when I'm stacking sticks. I'll grab my stack of sticks here and I'll show you. What I do is I put the standoffs over top, all right, and then I come right down in here and I use the male part of the suction and the nut on the back of the Versa button right here to make a wedge. And then down here at the bottom, I still use the bottom suction cup. So that little bit, actually, you can see I put the slightest little notch right there in the top of all my Versa buttons, but that is nice and strong and tight, and they all come together very well. What I'm kind of fumbling with now is remembering that I have these stacked this way. So to remove it, all I do is give it that little twist and they come apart. To make sure that I don't have any metal on metal contact, there's a person on eBay selling mole hair or wrap or stealth strips, okay, if you want to refer to it that way, and then I put that on the inside of all the standoffs, okay, top and bottom. You guys notice that I've got a cable on here, and Amsteel. The original Hawk Helium comes with a nylon daisy chain, and it sucks. The reason it sucks is because you pull that around the tree and you're holding that nylon 3/4 inch webbing or whatever with one hand, and then try to do this with one hand and get your thumb in between it. The Amsteel, it's pretty easy, okay? I can roll that with my fingers and get that open to get around here to put on my Versa button. Ideally, me being a little clumsy, I would much rather have this in a 3/16 or even a 1/4 inch Amsteel. I know that's overkill because the weight rating on this is insane and it's only like 1% stretch, but from a fumbling standpoint, a bigger diameter would be much easier to get your hands into. When I go to a tree, I tend to leave my one side stick up and then put the Amsteel right over top of it. That way when I come around the back, I've got a lot longer lever to reach the other side. Then when I come around here, okay, you can see the Amsteel's on the wrong side. I just flip it around this way, pull my Amsteel tight, reach around here and figure out which button I'm going for. Now, you don't want to just put the Amsteel directly on the Versa button. You want to try to get as tight as possible. So by twisting the stick and pulling on the Amsteel, like I'm not going to get an extra one out of this, but that will get you as tight as possible. Straighten it out and then pull down, and it will bite into the tree, hopefully. The cableator that you guys seen that I had on there, it come from Eastwoods or whatever up in Michigan. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They sell all kinds of mobile hunter and climbing stick accessories. We'll put a link in the description below. I just went with one cableator because it's kind of difficult to hit. Since I'm worried about, being efficient with this, I didn't want to have 3 cableators, but really, if I wanted to lose as much weight as possible in the system, I could go with 3 sticks with 3 cableators and really be pretty damn efficient and lose that extra 2 pounds from my system. Might do that in the future. So one big thing that I do not see saddle hunters and mobile hunters talking about is the type of tree that you climb. Now, yes, it's great that you can climb anything with sticks or with limbs coming off of it and things of that nature. I'm talking about the type of tree. This is actually a young pignut hickory. And that bark, the bark itself is really, really tough. All right. The smaller tree grips pretty well, but look at right there. Okay. The lower portion isn't really stuck to the tree. A softer bark, pretty much any other tree aside from ironwood or maybe persimmon, something like that. Cedar may or may not be. See, now cedar, that outer layer is pretty soft, but anything with a soft outer bark, poplar, even a white oak, okay, it has a little bit of sponginess to it. It's going to allow the teeth on the back of the step to actually grip the tree. Last thing you want is a loose step, all right? A loose step, and you step up here and the bottom of the step walks out on you. Then you're in trouble. Now, hopefully you're using your lineman's belt and you're not in trouble, but try to pay attention to what type of tree that you climb. And if you have a choice, do not climb a hickory tree. Lineman's belt. Let's talk about that for just a second. If I can get it up here in the frame, all right, you guys can see on this side, I actually got away from having a carabiner, and that is right into my safety harness. That is heat shrink tubing. And what I did was I put the heat shrink on the rope, went down and looped through here. This is about 8 inches, all right? And I've got 5 inches of it covered in heat shrink. But it's not just heat shrink, all right? I took lashing wire, and at the back of the loop and at the back of the tail, I went around the rope twice and then twisted it, just like, fencing wire, twisted it a handful of times so it cinched it up tight, and then I cut the tails off and I bent the tails in as a hook. And I laid them on the rope, and then I hit them with a hammer and drove them into the rope so they cannot come free, all right? And that also locks that wire into that rope so that rope cannot pull out. Then I put some large 3-to-1 heat shrink on there, and it's actually got 2 layers on it, all right? That right there, that section is about 5 inches long. That's going to be strong as can be, and it takes away steel out of my setup. Not only lighter, there's no noise to it. On the functional side of it, you guys can see I have a Ropeman 1. I really like a Ropeman 1 because of being able to take slack up so quickly or lean back on it, and all you have to do is pull that lever and you can pull rope back through. So I like that a lot. That is a big investment. It's like 80 bucks, but big deal. The one steel carabiner that I have on my lineman rope, I actually took more 3-to-1 heat shrink, and I put as much of it on there as I could without creating a functional problem. So banging on that metal right there, that's actually raw metal, and it's not making noise, that's making noise. So I'll just put my lineman's belt right there, and then you guys can see my safety harness is the same way. The safety harness that I have is actually a Gorilla, which they don't make anymore, but I actually liked it, so I'm keeping it around. But you guys can see that I guess with the sun and the shade it might be causing camera issues, but you guys can see how much 3-to-1 heat shrink that I've got on there. That will minimize the metal to metal contact, just like the stealth strips on the back of my standoffs here. All right, one last thing I want to talk about, and that is putting the tree stand on the tree and how I do it. You guys can see right there I've got an accessories pouch, and I got that the same place that I got the Amsteel and the cableator. What I've done on this XOP tree stand, it comes with 2 cam buckle straps, and my bungee come apart. Generally when I throw this inside a pouch, it's in a ball like this, okay, and then I've got the bungees on there. But the bungees were actually from the webbing daisy chain that come standard on the Hawk Helium sticks. So what I did, I threaded, this is 1/8 inch bungee, guys. You can get this at Walmart, hardware store, any craft store, okay? And that right there is about a 3-inch circle. And then I tied, double knotted it on the end, and it's actually, that knot is actually up underneath there, so it's out of the way. So that on the cam buckle, and then on the tail I did the same thing, a slip knot. All right, you guys can hopefully see that, just made a loop, threaded it through itself, and then with a bungee stop, all right, I keep it choked to the tail. What this does is allows you to put this strap on the tree, all right, just like this, and with a little plastic hook, forgot about that, I found a little plastic hook off of one of my turkey vests or something, all right, and I can hook the other side. Now you can see how loose this is. I can probably put my arm underneath there, okay, it stays on the tree. You want this to stay loose. You can pull some slack out if you want to. Just make sure that you leave yourself as much tail as possible, because you want both of your loops to overlap. All right, so that's pretty good. You can decide whether you want to do the cam buckle on your side or on that side. Now I've got this set up for me to be on the opposite side of the tree, because my pouch is on this side of the tree stand, but for the sake of the video, let's go ahead and hang this tree stand on this side. So what I would do, take my tree stand off my back, grab the seat post, okay, pull it up, come up here and put the tree stand on the tree. With one hand I can hold the tree stand in place, reach right up here, put the strap on my Versa button, okay, and like right there, like I went a little bit too tight, so all I have to do is hit that cam buckle, loosen that up, and it goes right around my Versa button. Now still, I'm using both hands, I'm not fumbling with a strap, okay, I'm not leaving the strap on the tree stand and it flopping around and that cam buckle making noise. Now the XOP does come with a secondary Versa button and secondary strap, and that is actually in the pocket that's on that side of the tree stand. That's why I usually have this set up to where I hang it on my right side. So at this point I would reach in that pouch, which would be just right here, okay, on this side, grab that other strap, and I can put it down around there. By tightening down the cam buckle, I can reach up and push down on this lever, okay, and then push down on the platform, and that will lock the tree stand in place. And then I can proceed to get my my safety harness, okay, attached to the tree before I remove my lineman's belt from the tree to go ahead and climb into the stand. That's how I do it. That is my entire system. That is all the modifications that I have made to my system. And I want you guys to go ahead and blow up the comment section and tell me what I should do different, what you like about this setup, and maybe some of the modifications that I've done that you like. This year I'm going to the woods with a recurve. Not done that in a very, very long time. And I'm very excited about the setup that I've got. Not only that, guys, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because I messaged a e-commerce company about sending me one of their bows, and they're going to send me a bow for me to review on this channel. I'm going to set it up and I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tell everybody there is to know about it. But what that company doesn't know is that I'm going to take it to the woods and shoot the first thing that walks by with it. So if you think that you have to spend $1,500, $2,000 on a new bow, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. Guys, shoot straight, shoot often. Don't forget to wear your safety harness, climbing lanyard, personal flotation device, whatever it is you're doing to chase critters. Don't forget to take that extra step to be safe. I'm White River Rambo, and I appreciate you all tuning in. Have a wonderful deer season.